I walked into my house and stood in the doorway, frozen. My living room was completely empty. No couch, no coffee table, no TV. Even the curtains were gone. For 17 years, I had given my brother everything. Paid for his college, paid for his wedding, helped with his mortgage. But that wasn't enough for him. Because when I got back from my work trip, Isaiah had stolen every single thing I owned. Before we continue, please tell us where you're watching from so we know how far our stories reach, and subscribe to the channel to help us grow. My name is Naomi Harrison, and I'm 42 years old. I work in hospital administration in Atlanta. Good job, good money, good life. Or at least it was before last Tuesday. See, I raised my baby brother Isaiah from the time he was 18. Our mama died of breast cancer when I was 25 and our daddy followed her 6 months later. Heart attack. The doctor said it was his heart, but I knew better. Daddy died of a broken heart. He couldn't live without mama. That left just me and Isaiah. He was still in high school, senior year. I had just started my career, barely making ends meet myself. But I looked at my baby brother at Daddy's funeral, and I made him a promise. I told him I would take care of him, that he wouldn't have to worry about nothing, that he could finish school and go to college and make something of himself. And I kept that promise. I moved Isaiah into my apartment, bought him new clothes for school, made sure he had lunch money every day, helped him with his homework at night after I got home from work, took him to visit colleges on the weekends. When he got accepted to Morehouse, I cried harder than Mama would have. I was so proud. College wasn't cheap, not even close, but I worked overtime, picked up extra shifts, cut back on everything for myself, wore the same work clothes for years, drove the same beat-up Honda until it literally died on me, didn't take vacations, didn't go out with my friends. Every single dollar went to making sure Isaiah had what he needed. Books, tuition, room and board, spending money. All of it came from me. And Isaiah did good. Real good. He graduated with a degree in business. Got himself a decent job at a marketing firm. I was so happy for him. Thought maybe now I could finally breathe a little. Save some money for myself. Maybe even take that trip to Jamaica I'd been dreaming about since forever. But then, Isaiah met Keisha. Don't get me wrong. I tried to like her. I really did. She seemed nice enough at first, pretty girl, always dressed nice. But there was something about the way she looked at things, like she was always calculating, always measuring, always wanting more. They dated for 2 years. Then Isaiah came to me talking about getting married. He was 30, Keisha was 29. They wanted to do it right. Big wedding, nice venue, the whole 9 yards. How much? I asked him. Well, we've been looking at places, he said, and there's this beautiful venue. How much, Isaiah? 30,000. But Naomi, it's our special day. We only do this once. I wanted to say no. Lord knows I wanted to. I had just bought my house 2 years before. A beautiful 3-bedroom in a quiet neighborhood. My dream home. I was still paying the mortgage, still furnishing it piece by piece. But when Isaiah looked at me with those eyes, the same eyes I saw at Daddy's funeral, I couldn't do it. I couldn't let him down. So I paid for the wedding. Well, most of it. I told him I could give him 20,000, that they'd have to come up with the rest. Isaiah agreed, said he understood, said he appreciated everything I'd done. The wedding was beautiful. I won't lie about that. Keisha looked like a princess. Isaiah looked so handsome in his tux. When they said their vows at Macedonia Baptist Church, the same church where Mama and Daddy got married, I cried like a baby. My little brother was all grown up. After they got married, things changed though. Not right away, but slowly, like water wearing down stone. First, it was little things. Isaiah would call asking to borrow money for this or that. His car needed new tires. Keisha needed a new laptop for her job. Their apartment needed repairs. Every month, there was something. I helped when I could, because that's what family does, right? Then about 3 years ago, they came to me with big news. They wanted to buy a house, a real house, start a family, build a life. That's wonderful, I told them. I'm so happy for you. There's just one thing, Isaiah said. Keisha sat next to him on my couch, her hand on his knee. We're a little short on the down payment. I should have seen it coming. I really should have. How short? I asked. 15,000. I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, did the math in my head. I had been saving for years, finally had a nice cushion in my savings account, finally felt secure. But this was Isaiah, my baby brother, and he wanted to buy a house, start a family. Wasn't that what I had worked for? To give him a better life? So I gave him the money. Pay me back when you can, I told him. No rush. That was 3 years ago. I never saw a single dollar back. But that wasn't even the worst part. The worst part was how they changed after they got the house. Suddenly, I wasn't hearing from Isaiah as much. No more Sunday dinners together, no more phone calls just to check in. When I did see them, Keisha would talk about all the things they were buying for their house. New furniture, new appliances, a new flat-screen TV. Meanwhile, I was still eating off the same dishes I'd had for 10 years. Still sitting on the same couch I bought secondhand. Still making do with what I had. But I didn't complain. Because seeing Isaiah happy made it worth it. Or so I told myself. Then 2 months ago, things got weird. Isaiah called me asking for money again, said their mortgage payment went up, said they were struggling. Could I help them out? Just for a few months until Keisha got her promotion? I was tired. So tired. But I said yes, because that's what I always did. I started sending them $2,000 a month. Every month, like clockwork, on top of everything I'd already given them over the years. My friend Vanessa told me I was crazy. Girl, when are you going to stop letting that boy use you? She said to me over brunch 3 weeks ago. You done gave him everything, paid for his whole life. And what has he done for you? Nothing. Not a thing. He's my brother, V, I said. What else am I supposed to do? You're supposed to let him be a grown man, she said. He's 35 years old, got a wife, got a job, got a whole house. And he's still coming to you with his hand out? That ain't right. I knew she was right. Deep down, I knew. But I couldn't stop. Because if I stopped helping Isaiah, then what was it all for? All those years of sacrifice, all those nights working overtime, all those dreams I gave up. If I stopped now, it meant I had wasted my whole life. So I kept sending the money. Last week I had to fly to Charlotte for a work conference. 3 days. I told Isaiah I'd be gone. Asked him to check on my house while I was away, water my plants, bring in my mail. Simple stuff. No problem, sis, he said. I got you. I should have known something was wrong when he actually sounded eager to help. The conference was good, learned a lot, networked with some important people, felt good about my career for the first time in a while. On the flight home, I was actually smiling, thinking about getting back to my house, sleeping in my own bed, cooking in my own kitchen. I pulled into my driveway Tuesday evening around 6. The sun was starting to set. Everything looked normal from the outside. My house looked exactly how I left it. I unlocked the front door, stepped inside. That's when my whole world stopped. Empty. The entire living room was empty. My couch was gone. The one I'd finally saved up to buy new 2 years ago. My coffee table, my TV, my lamps, my bookshelf, my books, even the pictures off the walls. I walked through my house like I was in a dream, a nightmare. The dining room was empty. My table was gone. My chairs, my china cabinet. The dishes Mama had left me, the only things I had of hers, all gone. Kitchen? Empty. They took my refrigerator, my microwave, my pots and pans, even my silverware, every fork, spoon, and knife. I went upstairs. My bedroom furniture was gone. My dresser, my nightstands, my clothes were dumped in a pile on the floor. They'd taken the hangers too. The bathroom was stripped, towels gone, shower curtain gone. Even the toilet paper holder was unscrewed from the wall. I couldn't breathe. I literally could not catch my breath. I sat down on the floor in my empty bedroom and stared at the walls. That's when I saw it. A piece of paper taped to the wall where my bed used to be. I stood up, walked over, read it. Naomi, we needed this stuff more than you do. You'll be fine. You always are. Don't be mad. It's just furniture. Isaiah and Keisha. I read it 3 times. Then I read it again. Each time the words got worse, more insulting, more impossible to believe. My own brother. My baby brother. The one I raised. The one I sacrificed everything for. Had robbed me, stripped my entire house, took everything I owned, and left me a note. Like this was normal, like this was okay. I called him. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely hold the phone. He answered on the 3rd ring. "Hey, Naomi," he said. Casual, like nothing was wrong. "Isaiah," I said. My voice didn't sound like my own. "Where is my furniture?" Silence. Then, "Oh, you're home. Where is my furniture? Look, before you get upset." "Before I get upset?" I was screaming now. "You stole everything I own!" "We didn't steal nothing," Keisha's voice cut in. She was on speakerphone. "We borrowed it. There's a difference." Borrowed? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "You broke into my house and took everything." "We didn't break in," Isaiah said. "You gave me a key, remember? To water my plants, not to rob me blind." "We're not robbing you," Keisha said. Her voice was so calm it made my blood boil. "We just needed some things. Our house is looking bare. You have nice stuff. We figured you wouldn't mind sharing with family." "Sharing? Sharing? You didn't ask me." "Because we knew you'd say no," Isaiah said. "You always get weird about money and stuff." I had to sit down again. This wasn't real. This couldn't be real. "You have 3 days," I said. My voice was cold now, dead calm. 3 days to bring back every single thing you took. Every dish, every fork, every piece of furniture, everything. "Or what?" Keisha laughed. Actually laughed. "What are you gonna do, Naomi? Call the police on your own brother?" "Yes," I said. "That's exactly what I'm going to do." "You wouldn't," Isaiah said. But I heard something in his voice now. Doubt. Fear. "Try me," I said. 3 days. All of it back. Or I'm pressing charges. I hung up. Then I called Vanessa. "Girl, you are not going to believe this," I said when she answered. After I told her everything, there was a long silence. "I'm coming over," she finally said. "Right now, with wine and air mattresses. Lots of air mattresses." She showed up 30 minutes later, took one look at my empty house and started crying. Not for the furniture, for me, for everything I had lost. Not just today, but for 17 years. We sat on the floor of my empty living room, drinking wine straight from the bottle. "You're really gonna call the police?" she asked. "If they don't bring my stuff back? Yeah, I am." "Good," she said. "It's about time you stopped letting them walk all over you." 3 days passed. I waited, checked my phone every hour, hoping Isaiah would come to his senses, hoping he'd apologize, hoping I'd hear a truck pull up with all my belongings. Nothing. On the 3rd day, I called him one more time. "Time's up," I said when he answered. "Where's my furniture?" "We can't bring it back," he said. "We already set everything up in our house. It would be too much work to move it all again." "Too much work?" I repeated. You had enough energy to steal it, but returning it is too much work? Stop calling it stealing, Keisha yelled in the background. We're family. Family shares. You're right, I said. Family does share. And you know what else family does? Family faces consequences. I hung up. Then I called the police. The police officer looked around my empty house and shook his head. Ma'am, I've been doing this job for 20 years, he said. But I've never seen family do something like this. Officer Gregory Jenkins was a tall black man with kind eyes and gray in his beard. He reminded me of my daddy. We're going to help you get justice. That night, sitting in my stripped house, I thought calling the police would make me feel better. It didn't. I felt sick to my stomach. Because despite everything Isaiah had done, he was still my baby brother. The same little boy I held when Mama died. The same kid I walked across the stage at his high school graduation. And now, I was turning him into the police. But he had crossed a line, and there was no going back from it. Officer Jenkins came back the next morning with another officer. They took pictures of every empty room, documented everything in a report, asked me to make a list of every single item that was taken. Do you have proof these items belong to you? Officer Jenkins asked. Receipts? Photos? Anything? I pulled out my phone, showed him pictures from my birthday party last year, pictures from Christmas. You could see my couch in the background, my TV, my dining room table. All of it. That's good, he said. Real good, but we're gonna need more. Do you have any security cameras? No, I said. My heart sank. I never thought I'd need them. What about neighbors? Anyone see anything suspicious? That's when I remembered Mrs. Geneva Price, my next-door neighbor. She was 68 years old and nosier than a detective. That woman knew everything that happened on our street. If a cat sneezed 3 houses down, Mrs. Price knew about it. I walked over to her house, knocked on her door. She answered wearing a floral housecoat and slippers. Naomi, baby, I was hoping you'd come by. I've been worried sick about you. Mrs. Price, did you see anyone at my house while I was gone? Monday or Tuesday? Her face got serious. I sure did. Saw your brother and his wife. They had a moving truck, one of those U-Hauls. I thought maybe you were helping them move or something. But then I saw them taking your couch out, your TV, and I thought to myself, Geneva, that don't look right. But I didn't want to be all up in your business, you know? What time was this? I asked. Started Monday morning, around 9. They were there all day, then came back Tuesday. Cleaned you out good. She shook her head. I should have called you. I'm so sorry, baby. Don't apologize, I said. But would you be willing to tell this to the police? The police? Her eyes got wide. Oh, Naomi, it's like that? Yes, ma'am, it's like that. Mrs. Price gave her statement that afternoon, told Officer Jenkins everything she saw, described the U-Haul truck, even remembered part of the license plate number. This is exactly what we needed, Officer Jenkins said. Now we can move forward. But I thought the hard part was over. I had no idea what was coming. That evening, my phone started blowing up. Text messages, all from family members I barely heard from anymore. My cousin Tanya, my Aunt Joyce, my Uncle Raymond. All of them saying the same thing. How could you call the police on your own brother? Isaiah had told everyone, put his own spin on the story, made himself the victim. According to his version, I had promised to give him my old furniture. He came to pick it up. And now I was trying to get him arrested because I changed my mind. He left out the part where he stole everything while I was out of town, left out the part about the note, left out the part where I gave him 3 days to return it all. My phone rang. Aunt Joyce. Naomi Harrison, what is wrong with you? She said before I could even say hello. That boy raised you after your parents died. No, I cut her off. No, ma'am. I raised him. I was 25. He was 18. I worked 2 jobs to put him through college. I paid for his wedding. I gave him money for his house. And he thanked me by robbing me blind. Well, he said you told him he could have that stuff. He's lying. You would call your own brother a liar? When he's lying? Yes. She hung up on me. 3 more family members called that night, all taking Isaiah's side. None of them asked for my side of the story. None of them cared that I was sitting in an empty house with nothing. No bed, no couch, not even a fork to eat with. That's when I realized something. Isaiah had been playing this game for years, making himself look like the victim, making me look like the bad guy. And I had been too blind to see it. Vanessa came over again that night, brought me takeout and another bottle of wine. "Forget them," she said. "All of them. They don't know what you've been through. They don't know what you sacrificed." "Maybe I'm wrong," I said. "Maybe I should just let it go, write it off as a loss." "Girl, no." Vanessa grabbed my shoulders. "Look at me. You are not wrong. What he did was criminal, literally, and if you let him get away with it, he's gonna keep doing it. To you, to someone else. You need to stand your ground." She was right. I knew she was right. Officer Jenkins called me 2 days later. "We found the U-Haul rental," he said. "Rented under your brother's name, got the receipt and everything. And we ran the license plate your neighbor remembered. It matches." "So what happens now?" I asked. "Now we go talk to your brother." But there was something else. Something I didn't know about yet. Something that would change everything. See, what I didn't realize was that my house had security cameras. Not mine, but my neighbor on the other side, Mr. Thompson, had cameras that covered his driveway. And part of my driveway, too. Mr. Thompson was a 70-year-old retired veteran who didn't trust nobody, had cameras everywhere. When he heard what happened to me, he checked his footage. And there it was, clear as day. Isaiah and Keisha loading my furniture into a truck. Multiple trips. Both days. You could see them laughing, joking around, like they were shopping at a store, not robbing their own family. Mr. Thompson gave the footage to Officer Jenkins. "This is even better than I hoped," Officer Jenkins told me. "This is video evidence. They can't deny this, can't explain it away." "So what now?" I asked. "Now we make arrests." The next morning, Officer Jenkins and 3 other officers went to Isaiah and Keisha's house. I wasn't there. Didn't want to be. But Officer Jenkins called me after it was done. "They're in custody," he said. "Both of them." I should have felt happy, victorious. But instead I felt empty. Because this meant it was real. My brother was sitting in a jail cell. Because of me. Because of what he did. But still, because of me. "They're saying they want to talk to you," Officer Jenkins said. "You don't have to, but they're asking." "I'll think about it," I said. I didn't have to think long, because that afternoon, while Isaiah and Keisha were being processed at the police station, my phone rang. It was Keisha's mother, Diane. "You need to drop these charges right now," she said. No hello, no introduction, just demands. "Excuse me?" "My daughter is pregnant," Diane said. 3 months, and you got her sitting in jail. What kind of person are you?" Pregnant. Keisha was pregnant. For a second I felt my resolve waver. A baby, my niece or nephew, growing inside Keisha while she sat in a jail cell. But then I remembered the note, the laughter in the videos, the 3 days I gave them to make it right, the way they ignored my calls. "Your daughter committed a crime," I said. My voice was steady. "She's dealing with the consequences." "She's pregnant!" Diane screamed. "And you're going to put her in prison? What is wrong with you?" "What's wrong with me? Your daughter and my brother broke into my house and stole everything I own. Everything! And now you want me to feel sorry for her because she's pregnant? No, that's not how this works." "You're going to regret this," Diane said. "When that baby is born and doesn't know its parents because you put them in jail, you're going to regret it." "They should have thought about that baby before they robbed me," I said, and hung up. But her words stayed with me. A baby. An innocent baby that didn't ask for any of this. I called Vanessa. "They're using the pregnancy to manipulate you," she said immediately. "Can't you see that? That's what they do. Create situations where you feel guilty for protecting yourself." "But V, what if—" No what ifs. Did they think about you when they were taking your mama's dishes? Did they think about you when they were stealing your bed? Did they care that you were sleeping on an air mattress while they slept on your furniture? She was right. Again. Isaiah and Keisha made bail the next morning. $20,000. Paid by Diane, apparently. She'd mortgaged her house to get them out. That same day, my lawyer called. His name was Thomas Wright. I'd hired him as soon as Officer Jenkins told me this was going to criminal court. "They want to talk," Thomas said. "Your brother and his wife. They want to negotiate." "Negotiate what?" I asked. "They want you to drop the charges. In exchange, they'll return your property." I almost laughed. "That's not negotiating. That's them trying to avoid consequences for doing what they should have done a week ago." "That's exactly what I told them," Thomas said. "But they're insistent. They want a meeting. With you. Face to face." "Absolutely not." "I think you should do it," he said. "Not because I think you should drop the charges, but because I want you to hear what they have to say. I want you to see them. So when this goes to trial, you'll have no doubts about your decision." I thought about it. He was right. Part of me still wanted to believe Isaiah would apologize, would show remorse, would prove he was still my brother somewhere deep down. "Fine," I said. "Set it up." The meeting was set for the next day, at Thomas's office, neutral ground. I walked in wearing my best suit, hair done, makeup perfect. I wanted Isaiah to see that I wasn't broken, that he hadn't destroyed me. Isaiah and Keisha sat on one side of the conference table. Their lawyer, some young guy in a cheap suit, sat next to them. Thomas sat next to me. Isaiah looked terrible. Bags under his eyes. Hair unkempt. 3 days in jail had aged him. Keisha looked defiant. Arms crossed. Belly barely showing. "Thank you for coming," their lawyer started. "My clients want to resolve this matter amicably." "Then they should return my property," I said. "They're willing to do that," he said. "But first, you need to drop the charges." "No. Ms. Harrison, please be reasonable, Dad. I am being reasonable. They stole from me. They got arrested. That's reasonable." Isaiah finally spoke. "Naomi, please. I'm sorry. We're sorry. We made a mistake. But you can't let them put us in prison. Think about the baby." "I am thinking about the baby," I said. "That baby deserves parents who understand that stealing is wrong, who face consequences for their actions, who learn from their mistakes." "We'll pay you back," Keisha said. "Every penny. We'll get jobs, work overtime, whatever it takes." "You already owed me money," I said. $15,000 for your down payment, 3 years ago. I never saw a dime. Why would this be different?" "Because this time is different," Isaiah said. "This time we'll do it right." I looked at him, really looked at him, and I saw something I'd never seen before. Or maybe I'd seen it all along and just didn't want to admit it. He wasn't sorry. Not really. He was sorry he got caught. Sorry he was facing consequences. But he wasn't sorry for what he did. "No," I said. I stood up. "I gave you 3 days. You laughed at me. You called me weird about money. You told me to get over it because it's just furniture. Well, now it's just consequences. Live with them." I walked out of that office and didn't look back. That night, Officer Jenkins called me again. "They're going to trial," he said. The DA is moving forward with felony theft charges, both of them. How long could they get? I asked. With their records being clean? Probably probation. Maybe some jail time. Definitely restitution. They'll have to pay you back everything plus damages. Good, I said. But what I didn't know, what nobody knew yet, was that Isaiah and Keisha had one more card to play. One more way to try to manipulate me. And when they played it, I would have to make a choice that would change everything. The trial date was set for 6 weeks out. 6 weeks of my family calling me a monster. 6 weeks of sleeping on an air mattress in my empty house. 6 weeks of wondering if I was doing the right thing. But every time I doubted myself, I remembered that note taped to my wall. You'll be fine. You always are. Like my feelings didn't matter. Like I was just a bank account with legs. Thomas kept me updated on everything. The prosecutor was a tough black woman named Lisa Chen. Lisa Montgomery. She didn't play games. She looked at the video evidence, the rental receipts, Mrs. Price's testimony, and told me, they're going down, no question. But Isaiah and Keisha weren't done fighting. 2 weeks before trial, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. Against my better judgment, I answered. Naomi? It was Isaiah. His voice was shaking. Please, we need to talk. We talked. At the lawyer's office. I said no. That was before, he said. Things are different now. What's different? Keisha lost the baby. My heart dropped. Despite everything, despite all the anger, I felt a stab of genuine pain. A miscarriage. That was real loss. Real grief. I'm sorry, I said. And I meant it. It's because of the stress, Isaiah said. His voice got harder. The stress of the arrest, the trial, all of this. The doctor said stress can cause miscarriages. So this is on you, Naomi. Our baby is dead because of you. And just like that, my sympathy evaporated. No, I said. Your baby is gone and I'm sorry for that. Truly. But you don't get to blame me. You did this. You stole from me. You got arrested. Those were your choices. You could have dropped the charges, he said. But you cared more about furniture than your own niece or nephew. Goodbye, Isaiah. I hung up. But his words haunted me. For days. What if he was right? What if the stress really did cause the miscarriage? What if I was responsible? Vanessa had to talk me off the ledge. Again. Girl, listen to me, she said. We were sitting in her living room. She'd been letting me come over almost every night. Couldn't stand seeing me in that empty house. Miscarriages happen. 20% of pregnancies end in miscarriage. Most of the time, doctors don't even know why. And you know what causes stress? Committing crimes, getting arrested, lying to everyone. That's what caused their stress, not you protecting yourself. She was right. But guilt is a powerful thing. It doesn't care about logic. The trial started on a Tuesday morning. I wore my navy blue suit, the one I'd worn to Mama's funeral. It felt appropriate somehow, because something was dying today too, whatever was left of my relationship with Isaiah. The courtroom was small, sterile. Isaiah and Keisha sat at the defendant's table with their lawyer. They wouldn't look at me, not once. The prosecutor, Lisa Montgomery, presented the case like she was reading a shopping list. Simple, clear, devastating. Video evidence showed Isaiah and Keisha loading furniture. The U-Haul receipt had Isaiah's signature. Mrs. Price testified about what she saw. Officer Jenkins presented the police report. My photos showed the furniture in my house before I left. The pictures from the crime scene showed the empty rooms. Their lawyer tried to argue that I had given verbal permission, that this was a family dispute, not a crime, that the whole thing was a misunderstanding. But then, Lisa played the video, the one where you could hear Keisha and Isaiah laughing as they carried out my mama's china cabinet. You could hear Keisha say, "She's gonna be so mad when she gets back." And Isaiah responding, "She'll get over it. She always does." The jury's faces changed when they heard that. You could see it. The sympathy draining away. I took the stand, told my story. The prosecutor asked me to describe everything I'd done for Isaiah over the years. Every sacrifice. Every dollar spent. "And after all that," Lisa asked me, "what did you find when you came home from your business trip?" "Nothing," I said. My voice broke. I didn't mean for it to, but it did. "I found nothing. They took everything. Even my mama's dishes. The only things I had left of her." I saw one juror wipe her eyes. An older black woman who probably understood, who probably had her own Isaiah in her life. Isaiah's lawyer cross-examined me, tried to make me look vindictive, asked if I was angry about the money I'd spent on Isaiah over the years. "No," I said. "I gave that money freely, out of love. What makes me angry is the betrayal, the entitlement, the belief that my things belong to them just because we're related." The trial lasted 3 days. On the 3rd day, the jury came back after only 2 hours of deliberation. Guilty. On all counts. Isaiah dropped his head. Keisha started crying. Not the quiet, dignified kind of crying. The loud, messy kind. The kind that demanded attention. Sentencing was set for 2 weeks later. Those 2 weeks were the strangest of my life. I felt numb, hollow. I'd won. But it didn't feel like winning. It felt like losing. Losing my brother. Losing my family. Losing the dream I'd had since Mama died. That Isaiah and I would always have each other. But I also felt something else. Something I hadn't felt in 17 years. Free. Sentencing day came. The judge was a stern-looking black man in his 60s. Judge Marcus. No, wait. Judge Bernard Thompson. He looked over the case file, looked at Isaiah and Keisha, then looked at me. "Ms. Harrison," he said, "is there anything you'd like to say before I hand down the sentence?" I stood up. I hadn't planned to speak, but words came anyway. "Your Honor, my brother and his wife didn't just steal furniture. They stole my sense of safety, my trust, my belief that family means something. For 17 years I gave everything I had to my brother, and he repaid me by treating my home like a storage unit he could raid whenever he wanted. I don't want revenge. I just want them to understand that actions have consequences, that you can't use people and throw them away, that family means responsibility, not entitlement." I sat back down. My hands were shaking. Judge Thompson nodded. Then he addressed Isaiah and Keisha. "I've seen a lot of cases in my courtroom," he said, "but this one particularly disturbs me. You didn't steal from a stranger. You stole from the woman who raised you, who sacrificed her own comfort and future to give you opportunities. And when caught, you showed no remorse. You tried to use a pregnancy to manipulate the victim. You blamed her for your own criminal choices. The court finds this behavior reprehensible." He sentenced them each to 2 years probation, 300 hours of community service, and full restitution. They had to pay me back for every single item they took, market value, plus damages, plus court costs. The total came to $73,000. Isaiah's face went white when he heard the number. Keisha started crying again. But that wasn't even the worst part for them, because probation meant they couldn't leave the state, couldn't miss their check-ins, couldn't get in any trouble at all for 2 years. And with their criminal records now, Isaiah's job prospects were limited. Keisha had already been fired from her job when she got arrested. They were facing financial ruin. And it was entirely their own fault. As we left the courtroom, Isaiah finally looked at me. Really looked at me. "I hope you're happy," he said. "You destroyed us." "No," I said. "You destroyed yourselves. I just stopped letting you destroy me too." That night, I met with Thomas to tie up loose ends. But I had one more thing I needed to do. "I want to change my will," I told him. Change it how? Isaiah is my only living relative. Right now, everything I have goes to him if I die. I want that changed. Who do you want as your beneficiary? I thought about it. Thought about all those nights working overtime, all those sacrifices, all for someone who saw me as nothing but a resource to exploit. The Atlanta Children's Home, I said. The orphanage over on Peachtree. I want everything to go to them. To kids who lost their parents. Like Isaiah and I did. Maybe it can help some of them have a better start than we did. Thomas wrote it all down. Made it legal. Made it ironclad. Isaiah would never see another penny from me. Not in life. Not in death. 2 weeks after sentencing, I got a call from Officer Jenkins. Thought you should know, he said. We found something interesting while investigating your case. What's that? Your brother and his wife? This wasn't their first time. We found evidence they did the same thing to Keisha's aunt 3 years ago. Borrowed a key to water plants while she was on vacation. Came back and took her jewelry and some electronics. The aunt never reported it because, well, family. But once word got out about your case, she came forward. My stomach turned. Are you serious? Dead serious. They've been doing this for years. Small thefts from family members. Testing boundaries. Seeing what they could get away with. You were just the biggest score. I sat down. Had to. Because suddenly everything made sense. The way Keisha always asked to borrow things. The way Isaiah would mention when people were going out of town. They'd been hunting, planning, calculating. I hadn't just been robbed. I'd been targeted. Thank you for telling me, I said to Officer Jenkins. There's more, he said. We found text messages between your brother and his wife from 6 months ago, planning this whole thing. They knew you were going to that conference. They rented the U-Haul 2 weeks in advance. This wasn't impulsive. This was premeditated. 6 months. They'd been planning to rob me for 6 months. While I was sending them $2,000 a month. While I was helping them with their mortgage. While I was being their safety net. They'd been planning to destroy me. I thanked Officer Jenkins and hung up. Then I cried. Really cried. For the first time since this whole nightmare started. Not because I was sad, but because I was finally, fully angry. The kind of anger that burns clean, that purifies. They hadn't made a mistake. They hadn't acted impulsively. They had planned this, calculated it, executed it with precision, and then blamed me when they faced consequences. The family members who had called me cruel? I forwarded them the police report, let them read about the premeditation, the text messages, the history of theft. Most of them apologized. Some didn't. I blocked the ones who didn't. Vanessa came over that night with champagne. We're celebrating, she announced. Celebrating what? I was sitting on my new couch. I'd slowly been replacing things, one piece at a time. This time buying exactly what I wanted. Not what was on sale, not what was cheap, what I wanted. Your freedom, she said, your new life, the end of being everyone's ATM. We drank the champagne sitting on my new couch, eating takeout off my new dishes, watching TV on my new flat screen. You know what the best part is? Vanessa said. What? You don't have to wonder anymore. You don't have to make excuses. You don't have to hope he'll change. You know exactly who he is now. And you're free. She was right. The not knowing had been torture. The hoping. The believing that somewhere deep down, my baby brother still existed, but he didn't. Maybe he never had. Maybe I'd created a version of Isaiah in my head that never matched reality. The real Isaiah was the one who planned for 6 months to rob his own sister, who laughed while stealing her dead mother's dishes, who blamed her for his miscarriage, who showed no remorse even when caught on camera. That was the real Isaiah. And I was finally done mourning the imaginary one. 3 months later, I went on a vacation, My first real vacation in 17 years. I went to Jamaica. The trip I'd been dreaming about forever. I stayed at an all-inclusive resort, lay on the beach, drank rum punch, read books, slept in. I didn't check my phone obsessively, didn't worry about money, didn't feel guilty for spending on myself. Because for the first time in 17 years, I wasn't responsible for anyone but me. One morning, I was sitting on the beach watching the sunrise when my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Naomi, it's Isaiah. I know you don't want to hear from me, but I needed to tell you something. You were right, about everything. I used you. I took advantage. I convinced myself I deserved everything you gave me because you were my sister, because you owed me somehow. But you didn't owe me anything. You gave me a gift, and I threw it away. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just needed you to know that I finally understand what I lost, not the money. You. I lost you, and I'm sorry." I read it 3 times, felt nothing. Not anger, not satisfaction, not sadness. Just nothing. Maybe a year ago, this text would have meant something, would have made me reconsider, would have cracked my resolve, but not now, because I'd learned something important. Sometimes sorry isn't enough. Sometimes the damage is too deep. Sometimes the only healthy choice is to walk away and never look back. I deleted the text, blocked the number, and went back to watching the sunrise. The water was beautiful, the sand was warm, and I was free. Finally, completely free. My brother had taken my furniture, my dishes, my sense of safety, but he couldn't take this peace, this freedom, this life I was building for myself. I'd spent 17 years sacrificing for someone who never appreciated it, never valued it, never deserved it. But those days were over. I'd paid my debt to Mama and Daddy. I'd kept my promise. I'd raised Isaiah, given him every opportunity. What he did with those opportunities, how he chose to treat me, that was on him, not me, not anymore. I finished my rum punch, ordered another one, and smiled at the ocean, because the rest of my life was mine. And I was going to live it exactly how I wanted. No more guilt, no more obligation, no more being anyone's safety net. Just me, my dreams, my choices, my life. And that was more than enough. Thanks for listening to this story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more stories like this. Where are you watching from? Drop your city in the comments.